Once upon a time, two friends, Thomas and Peter, decided to embark on a holiday adventure to explore different countries. They had worked hard all year to save up some money for this trip. Their plan was to travel by plane, hopping from one destination to another, experiencing new cultures and landscapes along the way. However, their journey didn't start as smoothly as they had hoped. When Thomas went to check in his baggage at the airport, he realized that his suitcase was overweight by 5 kilograms. Faced with two options, paying extra for the excess weight or discarding some items, Thomas, mindful of their limited budget, chose the latter. In a humorous twist, he opened his suitcase to the curious gazes of onlookers and found unexpected items inside, like a rubber chicken and a snorkel. With a light-hearted demeanor, Thomas started handing out chocolates to the people around him, urging them to either eat them or toss them away in a playful manner. After a few comical moments and with the queue of people waiting behind him, Thomas managed to lighten his load and continue his journey with Peter. Despite the initial hiccup, they were determined to make the most of their adventure. When it was time to board the plane, Peter suddenly felt the urge to use the restroom. Thomas turned to Peter, a note of urgency in his voice as he said, "We're short on time, Peter. You can use the restroom on the plane." Peter shook his head, his expression strained. "I can't wait any longer," he replied. Unable to wait until boarding, he dashed off in search of the nearest facilities. When Peter returned in a rush, he found Thomas seated calmly. Boarding had been delayed by 15 minutes. The funny part? Peter, in his haste, had forgotten to zip up his pants, a fact that Thomas couldn't help but notice. With a grin, Thomas nudged Peter and whispered, "You might want to fix that." After boarding the plane and locating their seats, they realized they were seated apart, which irked them both. Determined to sit together, they politely asked nearby passengers if they'd be willing to switch seats. Finally, a kind man agreed to swap with Peter. Now seated together, Thomas and Peter excitedly began to envision their trip, discussing the sights they'd see and the adventures awaiting them at each destination. Upon arrival, Peter and Thomas embarked on the quest for the most budget-friendly taxi to ferry them to their hotel. They stumbled upon an elderly taxi driver sporting thick glasses that seemed more fitting for a scholar than a driver. However, appearances can be deceiving, as they soon discovered during their ride. Engaging in delightful banter, the taxi driver regaled them with tales of the city's hidden gems and must-visit spots. His recommendations sparked their excitement, and they marveled at the serendipitous encounter with a knowledgeable local. Arriving at their humble abode for the night, a modest 2-star hotel, Peter and Thomas found themselves unfazed by its simplicity. After all, their focus lay not in the extravagance of accommodations but in the adventures that awaited them beyond its walls. At the reception, they were greeted by a strikingly beautiful woman who exuded warmth and charm. Their playful banter took a turn as they engaged in their customary game of guessing her age. With good-natured rivalry, Peter wagered she was in her 30s, while Thomas insisted she was in her 40s. Their game, though light-hearted, served as a source of amusement and camaraderie throughout their journey. In their eyes, age was merely a number, but the thrill of competition added an extra layer of enjoyment to their travels. Thomas approached the desk, engaging Sarah in conversation about the hotel's amenities without broaching the topic of her age. Respectful of social norms, he refrained from asking such a personal question during their initial interaction. However, he did manage to glean her name, Sarah, before returning to Peter. Eager to settle their wager without causing discomfort, Peter devised a clever solution. He took to social media, searching for Sarah's profile using her name and profession as clues. After some sleuthing, he struck gold, Sarah's Facebook profile revealed her age to be 44 years old. With the mystery solved, Thomas emerged victorious in their age-guessing game, prompting Peter to honor their bet by treating him to lunch later on. And so, armed with newfound knowledge and a hearty appetite, they continued their journey with laughter and camaraderie in tow. Venturing into the old city, Thomas and Peter delighted in exploring its iconic landmarks. Their journey led them through a bustling market teeming with life, where they stumbled upon a crowd gathered around an elderly musician. The melodies he played evoked joyous applause from the onlookers, yet Peter sensed a somber undertone beneath the surface. Observing the musician's weary demeanor, Peter felt compelled to unravel the mystery shrouding his life. Initially hesitant, Thomas voiced concerns about intruding into the man's privacy. However, curiosity prevailed, and they decided to follow him home, embarking on an eye-opening journey through the impoverished streets. As they watched the man disappear behind closed doors, Thomas questioned Peter on the value of their intrusion. Moments later, cries from within the house pierced the air, leaving them grappling with the harsh reality of the man's plight. The following day dawned bright and sunny, beckoning Thomas and Peter back to the same spot where they had encountered the musician. Approaching him once more, they struck up a conversation, delving deeper into his story. As they exchanged tales, the man confided in them about his urgent need for funds to finance a crucial operation for his son's hand. Time was of the essence, and without the necessary resources, his son faced the grim prospect of losing his hand. Though unable to provide the necessary funds for his son's operation, they devised a creative solution. Pooling their resources, they purchased a second-hand instrument and joined forces with the old man, captivating passers-by with their impromptu performances. Despite their amateurish attempts, their sincerity resonated with the crowd, garnering support for their cause. As the day unfolded, their vacation transformed into a mission of hope and solidarity. Amidst laughter and camaraderie, they navigated the streets, confronting challenges with resilience and humor. By day's end, their efforts bore fruit, as they amassed a generous sum to aid the musician in his time of need. Although they didn't manage to visit all the planned destinations, Thomas and Peter felt a sense of pride in their ability to aid the musician despite their limited funds. They found ingenuity in their resourcefulness, proving that compassion knows no bounds. Amidst their charitable endeavors, Thomas and Peter encountered many amusing moments that would linger in their memories. Beyond the age-guessing game, they invented a new pastime while playing instruments in the street, guessing the height of passers-by. This playful diversion added an extra layer of enjoyment to their journey, creating cherished memories that would endure long after their adventure concluded.